Hello everyone, I am Mohammad Afroz from EC second year of ISL Engineering College. Today I am going to give presentation on monostable multivibrator using IC555 timer. So let's start it. First of all, let us understand what is 555 timer. It is an integrated circuit that very stable and 555 timer used as monostable multivibrator, astable multivibrator, analog square wave signal generator, accumulator frequency meter and others. Basically 555 timer operate in two modes, therefore monostable, astable. So let us understand what is monostable multivibrator. It is also known as shoot or one shoot multivibrator. Monostable multivibrator are stable only when the output logic equals to 0, and the monostable multivibrator is used as delay in time circuits. It is also used for temporary memories. So whenever this monostable multivibrator is designed using the 555 timer IC, then it can be used in many applications like timing delays, frequency divisions, as well as pulse width modulation. So let us see how we can design this monostable multivibrator using IC555 timer. Before we start, some points functions are related to monostable multivibrator is IC555s there are 8 pins and pin 1 is grounded. In this, all the major voltage must refer to these pins, and the second pin is trigger. It means it is used to set up the flip-flop, and this output is low if voltage at pin is greater than 2/3 VCC voltage. When negative trigger pulse is 1/3 VCC, then the output at comparator 2 cause the timer output high, and the pin number 3 is output. As we can say, output can connect at two outputs, pin 3 and pin 1, or pin 3 and pin 8. See in the diagram, pin 3 and this pin number 4 is reset. It is used to reset with negative pulse. When the reset pin is not used, the pin is connected to positive VS to avoid false trigger. Pin 5 is control voltage, see in this, and pin 6 threshold voltage, pin 7 is discharge, and last pin 8 is VCC volt, how much voltage. So here is the circuit diagram using which we can design a monostable multivibrator using IC555 timer. See this circuit. So as you can see over here, the discharge and the threshold pins are connected together. Discharge and threshold pins are connected together, and using the resistor R1 they are connected to the supply voltage. Using the resistor R1 they are connected to the supply voltage as this one, while using the capacitor C1 they are connected to the ground terminal. So over here this reset pins is connected to the supply voltage. Here the trigger signal is applied at pin number 2, and over here, as we are not using any external voltage, this pin number 5 is connected to the ground through the capacitor. So now to understand the working of this circuit, let us draw this circuit along with the internal block diagram. So here the same circuit is drawn along with the internal block diagram. Now here, to understand the working of this circuit, initially let us assume that the output of this 555 timer is equals to 0. So whenever the output is 0, at that time Q bar will become 1, and whenever Q bar is equal to 1, at that time this transistor will become on, and the output of the pin number 6 and 7 is connected to the ground. So whenever the output of this 555 timer is 1, at that time this capacitor C1 remains at ground potential. So we can say that whenever the output is 1, the input to this first comparator is equals to logic 0. So whenever this pin number 6 is at ground potential, then the first comparator output will become equal to logic 0, because the voltage at the inverting node is more than the voltage at the non-inverting node. On the other end, if you look at the second comparator, whenever the trigger signal is not applied at that time, this pin number 2 is at VCC voltage. So at that time the voltage at this inverter node is more than the voltage at the non-inverting node. So at that time the output of the second comparator will also equals to logic 0. So in that condition both R and S are 0. So the output of the flip-flop will remains in the previous condition, and in this condition the output of the 555 timer will remain 0. Now let us see what happens whenever we apply the trigger signal. Now here the trigger signal is applied in such a way that during the triggering action, the output at this pin number 2 goes below this reference voltage. So whenever the trigger action happens, at that time the voltage at the pin number 2 goes below the reference voltage. So at that time the output of the second comparator will become logic 1. Now during this triggering action, as this Q bar is in logic 1 state, so this pin number 6 remain at ground potential. So the output of the first comparator will remain at logic 0. So during the triggering action, if you see S is equals to 1 and R is equals to 0, it means that we can say that this flip-flop will get set up to logic 1, and whenever this flip-flop output is 1, logic 1, at that time the output of 555 timer will also get to set up logic high. So now whenever this Q will become 1, this Q bar will become 0, and as soon as this Q bar will become 0, this transistor will get switch off, and now this capacitor will start charging through this path. So once this triggering action happens, this capacitor C1 starts charging towards the supply voltage. Now after this triggering action happens, the voltage at pin number 2 is equal to the supply voltage. So once again the output of the second comparator will become logic 0. Now during the charging process of this capacitor, whenever the voltage at this pin number 6 just crosses this 2/3, so in the circuit just crosses 2/3 VCC volt, then the output of the first comparator will become logic 1. First comparator will logic, because at that time the voltage at this pin number 6 is more than the reference voltage. So in that condition, now if we see here this R, this R is equals to 1 and S is equals to 0. So at that time the output of this flip-flop will become logic 0, and in way we can say that the output of the 555 timer will become logic 0. So in this way, momentarily the output of this 555 timer goes into the unstable state, and then after, whenever this capacitor voltage just reaches this 2/3 VCC volt, then the output will come back into the stable state. Now as soon as this Q will become 0 and Q bar will become 1, and whenever the Q bar is 1, then the transistor will get switch on, and the voltage across this capacitor will get discharged through this path. And once that happens, both outputs of the comparator will become logic 0. So if we see this sequence in a timing diagram, then it will look like this. So whenever this triggering action happen, that means whenever the voltage at the pin number 2 just to go below this 1/3 VCC voltage, then the output of the 555 timer will go to the logic high value, and at that time the capacitor will charge towards the VCC volt. As soon as the voltage across this capacitor just crosses this 2/3 VCC volt, then the output of the 555 timer will become logic 0, and immediately the capacitor will get discharged through the transistor. So in this way, after the triggering action for a certain time period, we will get the output pulse. So over here, the duration of the pulse will depend on the charging of this capacitor. So in a way, it depends on the value of R and C as well as this threshold voltage. Now here we are assuming that we are using the internal reference voltage, and in that case the time duration of the pulse can be given by this expression: T with equals to 1 into 1 R1 C1, where R1 and C1 are the external resistance which are connected between these two pins. So in this way, using the resistor and the capacitor, we can design a monostable multivibrator, and we can change the timing this pulse. Now, like I said, that this monostable multivibrator is useful in many applications. The first one is generating the different timing delays. So as I said, by changing the value of this R1 and C1, we can generate the timing delays. Now let's say we want to generate the time delay of 1 second. That means the duration of the pulse width should be equals to 1 second. So this is one of the application in which monostable multivibrator can be used. Apart from that, it can be used for the frequency division. Now here at the pin number 2, suppose if we apply a periodic trigonal signal, it is possible to use this monostable multivibrator for the frequency division. Apart from that, this monostable multivibrator can be used for the pulse width modulation. Now so far in our discussion, we have only used the internal reference voltage, but suppose if we use this control pin and if we apply the modeling signal at this control pin, then it is possible to generate the pulse width modulation output. So I hope in this video you understood how we can design a monostable multivibrator using this IC 555 circuit, and how it can be used for the different applications. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.